Welcome back to The Giant Leap. Every episode, we sit down with someone who's carved their own version of success and we unpack what it really took to get there, the mindset, the turning points, the moments no one sees, because success doesn't follow a straight line, and neither do the people who create it. Today's guest helps everyday women build digital freedom by launching simple, scalable online businesses using low cost Instagram ads. Through her mentorship, the Wealth Creators Circle, she teaches clients how to sell digital products without sales calls, funnels, or tech stress, just strategy, clarity, and consistent income.
Jess Viera, welcome to the show.
I love the energy. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped.
I stole that intro off Lloyd. Actually, he does that with his
Oh, I
podcast.
love it. So high energy. So high energy. It's good. I love it. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So let's start off by what's the earliest memory of Jess? Take us back to what life was like growing up.
Oh my gosh. Oh, this one's deep.
Straight in, straight in with the
This one's deep.
Sorry.
What was your childhood like? Just rip the band-aid off.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what was my earliest memory? So, growing up, I grew up in a drug home. I'm from Western Sydney, in Australia. So, if anyone listening, if you've got an Aussie crowd, or anyone that's been to Australia and has seen the beautiful grey areas of Western Sydney, that's where I'm from. So. Yeah, I'm a first generation Australian. My parents are from South America. And when my dad moved here, he moved to one of the roughest areas in Australia. It's got like well over 12 generations of severe poverty and financial suppression. So growing up, I guess my father got stuck in circles, not the best circles and whatnot. And then I came into this beautiful world. And yeah, my childhood, I would say I've seen a lot of, I grew up around gangs. It was very normal for me. Seeing my parents take drugs was very normal for me. Yeah, going to not the best schools was very, very normal. I didn't have like a great education. Went to probably the worst schools ever that really didn't have any money. So education wasn't that great. And then, yeah, just seeing my parents struggle my entire childhood, was financially was really the biggest memories that I had. Loving family, amazing, spicy Latinas, like passionate very passionate, although very aggressive in many different ways. But I think my parents just did the best that they could, growing up. But I will say I was exposed to a lot of things that I think a child should not be exposed to. So yeah, that was kind of like my normal. It was just normal being associated around drugs and I would say toxic people, like not just, yeah, people not making very good decisions in their life.
Sounds like the perfect breeding ground for success.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I won't disagree.
Yeah, how do you go from that background, which people would
Yeah.
look at as a difficult background where you haven't been given as much as other people to start
Yeah.
successfully. So how do you go from that kind of upbringing to having
Mm.
$1 million business?
That's a good question. Look, my parents separated when I was 13. My father left my mother for someone basically a few years older than me at the time. I think she was like 18 and I was like 13. And had another child to her who is my stepsister. And my parents separated. My mother moved to the Gold Coast, and the intention was for my dad to send us money. My mum was a stay-at-home mom for basically my whole life. Like she's maybe had like a couple of jobs, but she raised me and me and my sister. I don't have a daughter. Me and my sister. I don't have a daughter. Me and my sister, and yeah, he unfortunately misbehaved and they separated, and my father never came to the Gold Coast. But that change for my mum was the best thing that ever happened to her. Like, I knew, as crazy as it is, love my dad, but I knew that my mother was better off without him. Like, my father would just never change. He was so stuck in his ways and his way of life and the people that he was associated with. Like, he would just never change. He just, for some reason, he just didn't have it in him to want to change his life, or he just didn't think maybe that there was any opportunity out there for him at all.
Mm.
So my parents separated. When they separated, I actually spiraled out of control. Like, because we had moved to the Gold Coast, the education like on the Gold Coast was so much more advanced than where I was from, like, and what I had known. So I was like 5 years behind. And like I could not
Wow.
understand anything. Couldn't read properly. I still can't read. People think it's nuts that I've been able to make multiple millions and I don't read books. And they're like, how do you have all this information? But then so we can get into that later. But yeah, I was so far behind. I didn't understand. Like, I had changed schools multiple times. I missed like my first year of high school. I missed the first 7 or 8 months of high school in Sydney because the only school that I could get accepted into was a really rough school. It's like every parent would do whatever they could to not get their child into that school. And obviously, you have to, in Sydney, you have to go to the school that your postcode
Yeah.
is. Like, that's you. Otherwise, you have to fight with the government to get you outside of your postcode. And this one school was just full of government housing children. And it was rough, like so rough. And so I missed pretty much the whole of like my first year in high school. Moved to the Gold Coast. I was so far behind. And then naturally, I just attracted the wrong, not, I wouldn't say the wrong, because like we're just kids, like we're 13.
Yeah.
I just naturally attracted people that either had separated parents or growing up in drug homes or alcoholism and violence and like destruction and just, struggling families. And I naturally just, and not that every one of my friends, because I also want to be careful about what I say about people. Not every single one of my friends came from like a broken home. I say this nicely, but like a broken home. But I just naturally, I guess, attracted those people. I think like when you've grown up in a home like that, and now that when I look back on my life, like I naturally attracted that circle, that energy, that frequency, like that kind of way of life and choices, because that's all I knew. Like,
Yeah,
that's
you're
what
like, these are my people. These are
Yeah.
my
I'm a
people.
pro yeah, I'm a product. I got along with them. I understood the problems that they were having. But I just naturally attracted those people. And then next minute, like I'm skipping school. I'm getting into fights. I don't want to be at school. I spiraled out of control throughout my whole teenage years. Like I was a very angry, aggressive, depressed, self-harming child. And a lot of it was, I guess, triggered from my parents separating and then also getting sexually abused at 13 when we moved here.
Wow.
And I just spiraled out of control. I just honestly, my mom going through what she went through, like she was a stay-at-home mom. Like she didn't have a skill set. She didn't finish school either. She's from Sydney as well. She didn't finish school. She didn't come from the best parents either. She had a very traumatic upbringing. So like, ooh, I don't know. It was like this sense of like, okay, I have no purpose. I have no education. I don't know the value of money. We have no money. Well, my mum barely had any money. My mum went through bankruptcy. She lost a car. Like she's trying to figure out, okay, how do I take care of these two children now without a father? And it was just so much. And then going through obviously as a young girl thinking like, well, your dad doesn't love you. Like,
Yeah. Wow.
and then yeah, I just spiraled out of control. Like drugs, I took my first drugs at 14. And it was kind of went to a house party. It's like you either take this or we're gonna spike your drink. Like either way, you're gonna have it. Ended up then it just became like, okay, well, we do this every day now. And then, pills, speed, lucky, no ice or heroin or anything like that. But yeah, and alcohol every day, $7 goon bags, wine bags, and just partying every single day. And then I dropped out of home when I was 15. I left home. I went to take care of myself, and I just became an adult at 15. And honestly, like I probably have had, it's wild when I think about it now, because when I look at a 15-year-old, I'm like, holy shit, you look like a baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm like this baby, like literally paying rent, working full time, like literally, like, oh my God, like haven't
So
even had
what made you do that?
fun.
Because there'd be lots of people with the same situation,
Yeah,
they've got into drugs and then they spiral out of control and they stay out of control. But what made you
yeah.
different?
It was a choice, but also my mum kicked me out. Like she just had enough. Like she was so worried for me. Like I just wouldn't come home, or I would call her in the middle of the night because I had had a bad pill and I was freaking out, and she'd have to come find me somewhere on the Gold Coast, like to figure out how do I, and she'd have to calm me down through the whole night of having like a bad pill and a bad trip. And I was just, and then after that, like having a bender, I would rage out of control. I was self-harming because I didn't know how to process my feelings or emotions. Like, come from a Spanish family, like you don't show emotions. Like, I was raised as a boy, basically. Like, me and my sister grew up in the same home. We're 3 years different. I was raised to not show emotions, and I hung out with my cousins who are all boys. So I was raised like a tomboy, and my sister was raised very, very different to me. Very emotion, lots of love. I was the one night stand that turned into a child. And so very, very different. So I think when I went through all this, I just suppressed. I didn't know how to like process anything, like no feeling whatsoever. So when I would go on these party benders, I would end up raging out of control, getting in arguments with mom, trying to smash windows. Like I was just getting into fights at school. Like it was just so much, and mum just didn't know what to do with me. Like she became a Christian and she started changing her life and got off drugs and everything, but I was just spiraling, and she's just like, you can't live here. Like I can't, like you're going to live with an auntie that you don't know, and like that's the only person that will take you, and you will pay rent, you will get a job, you will, if you want to be an adult, then you can go and be an adult. So I moved to Sydney, and I
Wow.
just became an adult.
And so did you then stop taking drugs and stop that you had
No,
to?
no.
No,
It took
no.
no, it took a long time. Like I took drugs right up until I was 20, or just 21. It was a really long journey because like I think, and now that I know what I know now, like I've studied so much about like the subconscious mind and like energy and frequency and like just so much, because I was so fascinated about how I've been able to change my life. Like I think for the longest time, like I just felt it's like you feel understood by people that are taking drugs and partying. You feel understood, but you also don't feel good enough. Like I remember for the longest amount of time, like, even in Sydney, I would just end up in bad circles. Like I went and did year 10 at TAFE because I'm like, well, I need year 10 because if I do anything, God knows what I'm going to do. If I need anything, I need to at least finish year 10, surely. Like, so I did year 10 at TAFE, but then I still naturally, and that was in Sydney, in Western Sydney, and I still attracted the same types of people. I still ended up in drug houses. I still ended up in bikies houses. I still ended up in like around all these people. And there was always chaos, like always chaos. So even when I tried to stop or tried to like pull away, I naturally gravitated to those kinds of circles or houses because that's what was normal. So after my stint in Sydney, I ended up moving back to the Gold Coast, and I was like, okay, I'm going to change my life. Like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I think how old was I? How old are you when you finish school? I think you
18, 17,
18,
18.
18 in the Gold. Yeah, I think I was like 16 because I was younger than most people in my year. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try and do year 11 and 12. So I actually went back to high school. I don't even know how I got in. I can't even remember, but I got in. I think I had to beg them to let me in. Like, I'm like, I've changed my life, like all these things.
Was
Like,
it weird the reality of like, because you've not been a kind of school kid, you've been a TAFE kind of grown up person and then back as a school
yeah.
kid?
It was so weird. Like it was so weird. And I felt so dumb. Like I felt so out of place because I actually felt like an adult. Like I actually felt like I was a 25-year-old adult and now I'm going back to school. I'm like, but I'm gonna give it a crack. Like I live my own life. I do what I want. I don't live at home. I was renting. I was paying, like still living out of home, paying for rent, working a full-time job and he's everyone in year 11, like still at home. It's so weird. It was so weird. And like it was a very surreal thing, but I'm going to give it a crack. Because I really and I wanted to prove to mum that I would change my life. And then I remember the principal sitting me down and was like, Jess, you are so far behind. Like you will have to repeat 5 years to get ahead.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't understand anything. Like nothing that they were teaching me. It just like, they're like, you will be like 21 if you decide to go through with this. Like you have already gone through so much, like you go do something. So I signed myself out. I left. I'm like, I'm not finishing year 12 as like a 21-year-old. There's no fucking way. Like and it's so wild because I've never actually told this on a podcast ever before, but it was very weird. But then like I was stuck again. I'm like, well, what do I do? I still didn't have like a purpose. Like I still didn't know what to do with my life. Like I just didn't know at all. I'm like, well, okay, who's gonna tell me what to do? What do I do? I have no education. I got it's TAFE certificate from year 10 from Western Sydney, Blacktown. I don't even know if that means anything, to be honest. And like, I'm like, what job am I gonna get? Like, what am I gonna do? And I then was like, oh, well, you're a failure. You're not going anywhere. So I went and started hanging out with same old circle of friends, like same people. Ended up in the same position. Same thing, back in the same areas, in different areas, doing the same thing, taking drugs. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't know. And like, it got like so bad to the point. Like, I remember even one night in my house, I was sharing with a couple of girls, like, it just got so bad. And this was like my breaking point where like my best friend tried to stab me. She was so high, like literally tried to like violently, like everyone in my house turned against me and she like what came at me with scissors and I'm like literally I think 16 or 17, like 17 at the time. And I think that was like, and they trashed the house, like trashed the apartment, like everything. And I think that was one of the biggest turning points. And I was like, just can't, like, I can't do this. Like, this is just so crazy. Like, what am I doing? So then I think I went back home at that point, and I went back home because it was just like I had had enough. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to do something. I need my Centrelink check. So Centrelink then was enforcing study. And they're like, you got to go and study, you got to do all these things, you got to work all, and they're just on my ass because I was on Centrelink for so long. And I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to study? I need to do something. Like, what do I do with my life? And then my mum had a friend who was in nursing and she worked in aged care homes as an assistant nurse. And she's like, I'm getting paid $25 an hour. And I'm like, holy shit, that's more than Subway. I don't want to be a sandwich artist for the rest of my life on like, I think it was like $17 an hour. I'm like, 25 bucks an hour? Like, I'll do that. I don't know what it is, but I'll do it. So Centrelink paid for me to do a certificate 3 in aged care.
Yeah.
I went and did my first placement of like taking care of oldies. I'm like, how hard could it be? Oldies are so cute. I love them. They're so sweet. Went and did my first placement, and I swear, like that changed my life. Like it absolutely changed my life because like when you're a nurse, well, I was an assistant, but like when you're taking care of old people, like you got to have your shit sorted. Like you can't, you're taking their lives are in your hands. And it felt like I had purpose, like I could help someone. And that kind of gave me purpose. So I did my cert 3 and then I did my certificate 3. I followed it all through and I started like pulling back and taking like I wasn't really taking drugs because like you can't really wipe someone's ass when you're hungover, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like you cannot take care of elderlies when you're hungover. It's just and it was actually, I think it was like rehab, honestly, because like you can't, like it's a very hard job. It's a very hard job. You're surrounded by adults. I was like the youngest person there. They're all older ladies, some ladies in their 60s working in the aged care homes. And like here I am, and I'm like, well, I can't be hungover. Like I can't do this job. This is hard. Like this is really hard money. Like it wasn't easy. So I think it was good therapy, and they gave me weekend shifts, so I couldn't party either. So it kind of changed, like that was like the first step. And then I found out that I could use for my certificate, I could do a diploma in nursing. And a diploma would allow me it would open up more doors, I would get paid more. And then from there, I could go to university. And I was like, and I could
Wow.
become a registered nurse. And that's kind of like how it started, like was just nursing. Like nursing, I went and did my diploma. I ended up working in the hospitals. I worked in aged care for like 5 years. Then I ended up in hospitals. I ended up becoming the first anesthetic nurse in Queensland for my diploma. I went to
So I'm
university.
guessing like the key thing here is like your self-belief is building up this whole time. Like you're
I
starting to
seen
believe in
opportunity.
yourself.
I think that that was just the one thing is like I didn't know what opportunity was out there. Like, no one sat me down and said, Jess, this is what you could do. Like, my dad was like, you must go to the army because then they'll pay for you for the rest of the life and you'll be taken care of from the government. That was my dad's solution to my life. I couldn't even pass the fucking test. Have you done that test, the patterns test?
No,
Yeah, I've done it.
I've not
Get
done
in the army. Even if I wanted to become a cleaner, you can't just get in the army.
Well, I got the option of helicopter driver, so
Did you? But like,
pilot.
what is it called? What's it called? The aptitude test? Is it the
Yeah, I
aptitude?
think
How do
it's the
you say it?
aptitude test. Yeah,
That
yeah.
is the hardest test. The guy, I tried to get in, and the guy sat me down and said, "Did you even study?" I'm like, "Study what? How do you even study?" I'm like, "I don't know where the circle goes."
I
So
want to
bad.
go and do an aptitude test now. I've
Yeah.
got no idea. I've never done one. So
Apparently you learn it in school. I'm like, yeah, well, sorry, but I didn't finish
Wasn't there that
school.
day.
but you didn't
Yeah,
finish
I
school,
wasn't there.
but you've got a degree. So that's
Um,
incredible.
I dropped out of uni and that's what was the start of my business.
Yeah.
Basically, long story short, because this is a long story. So, when did I stop taking drugs? I was still in and out of it throughout like my nursing career. Like I said, it was very hard to break away from a lot of people that knew me for a long time that I felt comfortable with. And I still didn't know my worth. Like even though I was like building, doing nursing and I really was cleaning up my life. I wasn't partying as much, but I still associated myself with people because that was comfortable. It was so comfortable and I felt safe around those people. Like it was something like my resilience could handle it. So it took one relationship. I ended up in a serious relationship with a top leader in a bikie gang on the Gold Coast. And I ended up pregnant. And I think I was like, I honestly, my mum had me at 21. And I think like that was the holy shit, you were going to be your mother.
Wow.
Like,
Yeah.
like that was you were literally going to be your mum. Like you're going to bring a child into this world with this man who at any point in time could go to jail. And this is your life. Like, this is it. And that was like, and I knew that I would end up a single mom. Like I just knew. I knew. I could feel it. I knew. And I chose not to have the child. And it was a really hard decision. But from that point on, I was like, I'm never, like, I can't, I stopped talking to literally everyone. I'm like, I can't, this is not my life. Like, I could, if I was ever to bring a child into this world, like, who am I? Like, how are you gonna, you can't raise a child the way that you've been raised. Like, it's just, they're gonna go through this hell too because of my decisions.
That's
So
brave. That's really brave to actually face that
it was
and make the decision you made.
it was hard. Like it was really hard because from that point I had to really walk away from every single best friend that I had from the age of 16 and I was like 21. Like I really had to walk away and say like I'm done. Like I have a career now. Like I was still working in nursing. I'm trying to like do better. It's like when like you're trying to like do better in life and God tries to send you like a test of like, are you really trying to be better? Or
Yeah.
are you just like you're putting on this mask and you're like pretending to be better, but like you're still doing the same shitty things behind closed doors? It was like one of those
And you
situations.
end up being like, why God, why do you test me like this?
Yeah, 100%. It's so crazy. And I think that that was like that point. And then yeah, so yeah, that was a big turning point. And then I ended up in a relationship with a bodybuilder. I did my nursing. I ended up competing in bodybuilding for 3 years, and I just never really turned back. When I was, but the when and then I helped him build his business. Basically, he became like a coach. I was the face, and then how I got into business was like. I remember him saying like I'm gonna earn $5,000 a month, and I was like $5,000? Are you serious? Doing this, writing like plans for people? And he's like, yeah, and he's like, and then I'm gonna make 10,000, and I was like, holy shit, okay, no worries. And like this was back in 2014, so this was before Instagram became a really big thing, online coaching became a really big thing. And it kind of like opened my eyes to a potential other world. And then I remember like I was studying in like I was working full time in nursing, working two jobs. And then I was at university because I could do 2 years and then get paid more and be able to hold the red keys. Basically, I was a cheaper version of a registered nurse with a diploma. So I was at university and then I was like, I had loans, I had credit cards. I was just so bad with money. Like I just was not good with money. And then I was like, why am I doing this? Like I need to work for myself. Like what it's gonna take, and I did the maths and I was like, it's gonna take me like 5, 6 years just to earn 100K a year. Like why am I working 12-hour shifts, two jobs for this? And that was like the big turning point where I started like looking at building like an online fitness business.
Yeah,
And
when you
yeah,
when you learn about other opportunities and stuff, everything becomes clear. Like, no, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Like, that doesn't make sense. The more
yes,
the knowledge that you gain around business and your
yeah,
time, really.
100%, 100%. And I think I always had this like thing in me, like I don't when I seeing the potential of earning money, like I think I'm very driven by money, very, very driven by money. Like, and I was like, well, I need more money.
Yeah,
Like if I
probably
want
because
to
you
change
never
my life,
had none, and you come from a
yeah.
product of not having any money.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you then go from you've got an idea of a business, but you've never had a business? Okay, so you've got an idea of a business, and then what's the first like 5K month like, or first 0 to 10K month? How does
Yeah.
that work?
It didn't happen for years. Like it honestly, like I have a pretty, there's so many phases to this, but like I didn't leave nursing until 2017. And I tried to start a business, like my own business. Like I think I charged like $30 for like a 12-week program, like to people because I was a fitness bodybuilder. And I built a website, never did anything with it. I had 40,000 followers that just all followed me because I competed, but I never made any money from it. And instead, I was like, you know what? I actually don't know how to run a business. So I actually went and got jobs outside of nursing. That was the first step because, and for anyone listening, like if you are wanting to start a business, like I think that this really built me because I was like, well, I didn't learn business in nursing. No one has taught me business. I've had so many business ideas. Like when F45 came out, do you remember when it came
Yeah, yeah.
out? Like
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like, I remember getting that business plan when it first came out. I took it to my best friend who had money and I was like, this is going to blow up. I need you to invest into me.
Yeah.
And he laughed. He's like, you don't even know what a business plan is. Do you even know what the word profit means? And I'm like, no, I don't, but it doesn't matter. I'm like, this is gonna blow up. And he didn't listen and it blew up. And everyone that cashed out of F45 made so much money.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I always had something in me and I just kept looking for things. But for anyone listening, I think if you haven't got the skills in business, you have to acquire the skills in business. You have to find a job where someone's going to teach you business. And so I started looking outside. I'm like, well, I'm in the bodybuilding industry. Maybe I can become like a manager or something of someone's business. Like I want to manage someone's business. That was the first thing. And then I ended up getting a job at ASN in a supplement store and managing an ASN store in Bondi in the eastern suburbs. And that was like my first thing. And they're like teaching me how to like sell subs. And I'd never sold anything in my life. Like it was so hard. I was like, I don't, it was so hard. But I learned
Aren't you
things.
just like, oh, I use this, look. And then,
Yeah.
okay, fair
Like
enough, I'll buy that.
I know, but it was so hard trying to sell. Like you had to upsell people and do all these things. Like it was really hard. And I wasn't that great at it either because it wasn't a skill that I had. And but I learned invoicing and I learned doing the cash and all the till and all these things. And then I found myself like bored, hating that. And I've changed jobs so many times. I'm like, okay, this is great, but I'm bored. What's next? And then I ended up then moving over to a supplement distribution company in Australia, so who gives the products to these stores. So I became, because they loved my networking skills, they just loved my energy. It wasn't that I could sell, they just liked my people skills.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool, I'll take the job. Oh no, I think I went to F45, hated that, and then I went to them. And I was like, okay, I'll take the job, became a manager. And I had 150 accounts in New South Wales and I had to go to all these stores that were all run by men,
Yeah.
grumpy, steroid men. Like,
Yeah.
I've done a
have you
similar
done it?
job for Bacardi. So, but I did it
Oh
with
my God.
alcohol.
Oh my
So I
God.
did it with alcohol in the UK to pub
Okay.
landlords. So
Mm,
similar vibe, grumpy pub landlords with Bacardi
yeah.
products. Yeah.
Oh, and so degrading too, some. Oh
Yeah.
my God. So degrading. Like, oh shit. Like
I thought that
it
would be
was,
easy. You just walk in like, oh, look, check out your muscles. How good do you
I
look?
know.
They do, they are like that. It's a bit lecherous and leery, and you sort of, and you know that you're getting people to buy products because of the way you look,
Yes.
not because of what you're doing. And it is,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
that. Yeah. And then there's also the fact that you got to try and sell them 10 to $15,000 order from a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that has no industry experience. That hasn't had been in the industry for X amount of time. But like it was rough. I was like, it was so hard. Like, and I was underperforming like so bad. And then I got sick of driving everywhere, all over New South Wales. So then from there, UFC Gym actually poached me at a fitness expo in Australia. And they said, they were like, we've been watching you. We watch you on social media. Because one thing that I think got like made me okay in the sales distribution in the supplement company was just my networking skills. I made friends with most people and I always promoted their businesses on my social media and they loved it. So it was just that. And then UFC Gym poached me and was like, hey, we need a fitness manager and we don't want to hire someone with experience. We want to see if we can train someone with zero experience. We like your energy. We like everything. We're going to teach you how we're opening one of the biggest UFC gyms and we want you to open it. And I was
Wow.
like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I did that. And then I had to build the whole gym, did pre-sales, did everything. I learned so much. I also had to build the fitness team and I learned how to coach coaches and all this stuff. And then that was the last time I pretty much worked for anyone else. I asked for a pay rise when the gym opened. I hit all the targets and then they fired me for, asking for the pay rise that was promised.
Oh my
Um,
God. Great.
yeah, I know. And then that was the start of my fitness business.
Yeah, it's
I,
mad how when you launch your own business, it kind of usually comes at a point where you get fired or something because you got no other options. And you're like, oh well, I'll just give
yeah.
this a go.
100%. I had I think I had $500 savings. I had a few clients because I was allowed to PT on the, like whilst doing that job. And I was working like from 5 a.m. till 10 o'clock close every day. Like, and I was like, fuck it. I took my clients and I went and got a job at their competition at their gym. And I took my clients and then I literally had like probably 7 days to like replace my income. Like I had no choice. Like, so, and I think anyone that's listening, I found myself in this position multiple times as an entrepreneur. Like when your back's up against the wall, like you have no choice but to find a solution. Otherwise, like you're homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
that's it.
yeah,
That's
100%.
why you get the big payoff if you
I know.
perform, if you keep going.
I know. And I think if you have, like, I talk about this so much, like the entrepreneur flame, like, I think you know if you have it, like, you just know that you're meant to do something more. And it's like, I think you reach a point where it's like, I'm so done, like, being told what to do. Like, I'm so done with someone dictating my income and telling me that this is how much you're getting paid. And I'm sick, and I was sick of struggling. I was just so sick of struggling.
But
Um,
it's a great lesson for listeners to see that you did get jobs and did stack the skills like step by
yes.
step. You know, you went up the process and until you were like, I can just do this myself.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like for anyone listening, like I wasn't that talented. Like I wasn't that talented. I wasn't the best. Wasn't the best gym sales membership signer up or whatever you call it, like in the world. But I had enough to get me going. And I think a lot of people think that they need to have all of the skills or be like the top person to be able to do something. But like you really don't. You really don't. And I think like when it comes to owning a business, like sales, like as long as you know how to communicate with people, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like you'll be
It's
fine. You'll
just
always be able to make
relationships. It's just building relationships. It's like a dance, isn't it?
it is. That's it. That's literally it.
So when it comes to, we were just chatting about like breaking points and stuff. What's the hardest moment that you've had in your business? A moment that you're like been like, oh God, I
Yeah.
don't know what to do.
Um, I would say there's been uh four big turning points. One would be when COVID hit and I had the fitness business. That was probably one of the big turning points. Because I was like, holy shit, like I've just lost half my PT business. Like what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Like I had
Was it
online,
was it
thank God.
online or was it offline? Half of
I
your
had both.
business was.
I was trying to move online, so I was lucky that I had both. But you know, a lot of people were losing their jobs. My clients were corporates, like you know, as you would have known, COVID, like it was just everyone was uncertain before the government started handing out money.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um,
We
but
had an events business, so we were just our clothing business was fully events,
oh
and we
my
had to
God,
take it online and we had to get a retail store to
oh my
actually enable us to get through. So yes, we completely know the pivot of
yeah.
COVID was insane. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's so insane. You had to learn fast, like,
Yeah.
you know, what's this online world? And, you know, I think that that was that point. And my sister, she had suffered from severe anxiety, depression, suicide thoughts, like for many, many years. And she was not in a good place. And she was living with me, and I was taking care of her. My parents basically lost everything, and I ended up having to take care of her. And like the turning point was at right when COVID hit, and she like, and I started pivoting and started business coaching because people were asking me, you know, all of a sudden people were just asking me, Jess, how do I move online? Help me, like fitness PTs, everyone was reaching out, like I need help, like what do I do? Like you're
Because you
online.
had like 40,000 followers. So
Oh yeah, and I was moving online, so they were like, "I need help," and I was like, "Holy shit!" So like, I held a webinar and I made 24,000 in like 24 hours, and
shit.
I was like, "Holy
You're
shit!"
like,
Like,
why haven't I been doing this all the time?
well, yeah, like I just it just happened. Like it just really just happened. But I think at that point, my sister had sat me down and she had said, like, I don't want to live anymore. Like I want to commit suicide. And I can't do this. Um, and I think like that really broke me because we were just so close. Um, and I really will never forget, like, just I can see it like clear as day in my mind. Like, I just remember saying to her, like, I promise you, like, I will do whatever it takes to build this business and I'm going to change our lives and you will work for me.
Mm.
Wow.
Um, and I'm like, I can't lose you. We won't be like our parents. And yeah, 15 months later, we made 1 million together.
That's a hell of a motivator.
Just,
Yeah, what a motivation. Like that's
just,
drive, isn't it?
Yeah, like we're not going there, so we have to just go here.
yeah, yeah. I think it just like, we just had no choice but to figure it out. And
Yeah.
like I said, like opportunity, I think if I see opportunity, like you just have to take it and you don't know where it's going to go. Um, yeah, but that was probably one of the biggest like pivoting points to really push forward with what I wanted.
I was
Yeah.
going to ask, like, why did you choose empowering women as your kind of mission? But through your story, I think it's pretty clear why. But do you just want to tell us a little bit about that?
I have worked with men. I have men clients. I definitely have male clients. I've had a lot of men invest into me actually. Uh, but I don't know, naturally I've just women, like naturally I've just attracted a lot of women. I think through my story, like I'm very transparent about things on social media. Like I've openly shared about everything that I've shared with you today, the abuse, sexual abuse. I also started a women's podcast when I had the fitness business, and I hold events in women's mental health, sharing stories. So I think just naturally, because of my vulnerability and openness, I've just attracted women. Yeah. And then I did own a sales agency for women last year, but
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so it's kind of just all happened around women.
So the sales agency you don't have anymore, do you?
Uh,
Or do you?
no, I
No.
actually had a massive uh breakdown, crumble of my multi-million dollar business last year, and I shut everything down and pretty much, yeah, lost majority of my clients last year.
Wow. So
Yeah.
this shows that success is not a
No.
linear thing. So
It's kind of like Bitcoin.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
what
No,
what
I've
happened?
definitely had to.
What happened? You were
I It's wild. And I've only just I've been in like deep healing for the last like 8 months. Like I definitely have been. You guys would probably be maybe one of the first podcasts I've done in a while, actually. But I started a sales agency in 2023, and we went from like averaging 80K months to 3.3 million in a year. And it was just insane growth, probably too fast. I didn't have the knowledge for it. I didn't have the skill set. I don't think I had the leadership, and we just grew really, really, really quickly. I had really bad accountants make a lot of fuck ups. Like, I don't know if you guys have
Always the bloody
experienced it.
accountants in
we
there.
have had that
Someone's
more.
got to
Yeah.
write a book on this shit.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who
Accountant.
gives them their licenses? Like,
I don't know.
Lucky we
I,
got GPT these days, so we can actually check everything
no,
ourselves.
no, I know. Honestly, like, holy shit. Like, don't even get me started. Like, it
I
just,
have to say our accountant at the moment is good. It's
Yeah.
not our
oh,
it's
yeah.
our accountant at the moment. I have to say that in
Yeah.
case they listen.
Mine is good. My
But
one actually
the
up to
previous
date.
ones, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
one of them's a
yeah,
pro
I know.
gamer. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
And it sucks. Like I think we scaled too fast. Had a lot of clients very rapidly. It was a high pressure, so there was two parts of the business. There was the recruiting agency, so we would recruit interview people all week for appointment setters and high ticket closers, women only. We would recruit, interview, and then I had the mastermind on the other side. So I would be placing those sales reps into my clients' businesses and then training their sales teams and helping them grow their revenue with ads. And it was like having two businesses under one umbrella. Like, and it just required so much. And it just like, I had a finance team, an accounting team, a client success team, a sales team, a marketing team, like, and we were growing so fast. And then, like, people would make mistakes, like, and sometimes, and mistakes aren't bad, but mistakes become bad when the revenue isn't recouped.
Mm.
And it just like, I don't know, I just kept hiring people that would, yeah, were just either not doing their job properly. And as much as I tried to keep them accountable for it, or people saying that they had all this experience, but, it didn't,
Right.
unfortunately. And, when you're trying to hand over leadership and departments to people to manage and build something, if they don't have the skill set, I'm just doing someone's job and paying them, a 200, 300K a year salary.
Yeah.
And it was a lot, like, and not having the knowledge how to do all this stuff. Like, I didn't come from corporate. Like, I didn't know how to do all this. Like, I've invested $600,000 into masterminds and some of the best people in the world. But like, leadership is like I never had a great boss that taught me leadership and management. Like, and I think that was my downfall. Like, it was my downfall of not knowing how to really build a solid team. But it just got to the point where it was so transactional. Like, recruiting and sales is very transactional. Like, we pay you for a rep and we want a rep. And if things go wrong, we're going to blame you because
Yeah.
it became like so how do I say, just it was transactional, became volatile. It just like I had like so many women, like multiple six high seven figure, sometimes earning more than me, very driven women that are very hyper masculine, all a mirror of what I was, like a complete mirror of what I was, with that would just, one thing goes wrong and you're like a volcano.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and it was a lot. And then I invested into a mentor and I was like, I want to take this business to 12 million a year. And he's like, okay, but what are your goals? And I'm
Mm.
like, well, I really want to find a husband. I want to be in a relationship. And he's like, okay, how many hours do you work right now? And I was like, I work 7 days a week from the moment I open my eyes at 2 a.m. in the morning to the moment that I go to sleep at 8 p.m. at night. And he's like, okay, and you want a relationship and you want to find your husband, you want to do all these things. He's like, and you want to make 12 million with this business model. And I was like, yes. He's like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had owned a sales agency and he was the first person to do it online. And he's like, don't do it. He's like, Jess, I have done it. And this will cost you your soul.
Mm.
Like, this will cost you so much. And it's like, you really want to make 12 million. And at the end, all you've done is work.
Yeah.
He's like,
Oh,
because that's what you're going to do. He's like, you have to. And like, he's like, if I was you, I would shut down the agency and do a different business model.
yeah.
Like, it's not in alignment with what you want. And I didn't get it, but I followed his instructions. Like, and then as soon as I shut it down, like I was like, told all my clients, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm suffering. I had gained so much weight. My skin was horrible. I was just so emotional. I was up, down. I was fighting with my sister constantly. She was stressed. She was working. We were working like nonstop. It never stopped. We were always so stressed about whether clients were happy or what we were going to have to deal with on a Monday because people haven't hit the sales targets and all the things. And I was just like, I ended up so sick one month and I had to take the whole month off. I was so sick.
Wow.
And our revenue cut in half.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized like the whole company relies on me and I'm paying all these people. And
Mm.
without me, it doesn't operate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why?
And there's
What am I
probably a
doing?
different model where you're not juggling so many balls, but you get to put more balls aside for yourself. Like,
Well, yeah. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, your revenue shouldn't drop if you have 18 staff members, surely.
yeah.
Yeah, ours was the same. We had to completely cut our business back because the
Just,
staff the staff didn't really make a difference actually
Mm.
to the revenue. We were just making more money to pay their wages,
Yeah.
but not actually making any more profit. It's exactly the
it's
same profit. So you may as well just take all of that part of the business, remove it, and just have
yeah,
the easy bit that makes the same amount of profit.
Yeah.
100%. And it's a hard pill to swallow as
Yeah.
well. Like, I don't know if you guys felt the same, but like I felt like a really bad leader.
Mm.
Like I like as we slowly got rid of staff, like the amount of guilt and like blame and also putting my family through the stress, like my family relies on me, like, my sister and my mom and our dogs. But like I was like, oh, I just was like, oh, I'm not good enough. I wasn't successful. Like, I wasn't able to do this. Other people can. Like, I wasn't able to do it. Why am I having
God
so
was
many?
testing you again. God
It's a
was
test.
testing you.
Yeah. But you don't see it when you're in it. Like,
No, that's
and when I don't know if you guys went through it too, like just shutting things down. Like, it's not as if you just wake up one morning and you're like, I'm going to make a change. And
yeah,
then
it's a
everything,
No.
long drawn out
It's
process
you
of
it's a
you
grieve.
like,
nightmare. It's a
You're
nightmare.
grieving for your business. It's
So,
like you grieve.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And your
remember
person, like your
standing,
identity.
yeah, standing in the shop when we decided to close the shop, and even the things like the boards with the like drinks menu boards,
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'd written them and I'd made the drinks myself. I'd
Yeah.
like made the recipes, and like that was like heartbreaking. It's like nobody's ever going to drink that drink again.
It's
Like it's so ridiculous, and it
absolutely.
seems ridiculous, but it is. It's like this whole grieving process of actually letting go of everything that you've created because it
Yes.
isn't working.
Yeah,
And
100%.
to
I felt the
face
same.
that reality
but
is
but the
I
cool
felt,
thing that we've found because we've gone through that process, like, and we've processed it and we've come out the other side. Now we have so many emotional things in our tool belt and
yes, I
experience in our
agree.
tool belt to help others that are
Yeah,
either going through that or thinking about doing that, and you're like, well, I don't know.
I agree. I agree. And it's so wild. Like, I think we think that everything's going to be great, or in my head, I thought that I was going to be doing that for like the longest time. And it's just, you don't think that you're going to go through something like that, and then it just happens. And, now that I've spoken to a few people about it, like a lot of people have actually gone through this in business. It's
yeah.
so wild. I think even
Yeah,
my
there's like
accountant was
a story of like billionaires, and they all get on
saying,
there, and if you haven't like gone bankrupt 3 times, then
just
you're not
about to
even
say
allowed
that.
on the plane.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to
Yeah,
say that. But that's what I mean. But it's like when you're in the thick of it, you don't see any of that. You don't see the positive side. It's taken me until, like, honestly, like I just shared this on my reel the other day, and I'm like, I feel like I've lied to people.
yeah,
No one would have had a clue that I was like literally emotionally, mentally, like everything suffering like from it,
mm,
like just not coping, you know?
Yeah.
And then like, oh, but then all of a sudden all these business owners are like, holy shit, I've been going through that too. And I'm like, I feel so seen.
yeah.
Like,
I think yeah,
Yeah.
you need to
Yeah.
you need to process it yourself first, definitely.
yeah, but
Or
you
then
think
you're
that
just like,
you're
oh, I can't deal
I
with
know,
life. Like,
Yeah,
I know.
it definitely took like a good amount of time to actually process what we were doing
Yeah,
and why we were doing it. And because
yeah,
you have to internally do that so that you can
yeah,
know
I
that
agree.
yeah,
hey
know the
Jess,
right thing.
have you become clear on your definition of success? What is success to you?
Oh my gosh. You ask very good questions. Very, very good question. Um, my definition of success, now that I know what I know and that I've been through what I've been through, and like I guess why I created the Wealth Creators Circle, was I honestly just want to be joy. Like if I'm living a joyful and a peaceful life and my central nervous system feels calm, that is success. Because I think I'm 33 now, and for 30, what? For the longest time, for 32 years before I decided to walk away from what I had built, I have always lived in fight or flight, like in such a
Adrenaline filled.
adrenaline filled chase. And I am fucking tired. Like, I was so tired. Like, I think for now, I'm like, success is as long as I have my peace and I have stability and genuinely feel good and I look good and my skin is clear and I have what I need. I think like that's just success for me. And then if I find a husband, that's a success too.
So anybody out there? Anybody?
Yeah, if there's anyone out there.
Don't start giving weird messages. Well,
Hey,
first,
we could send them an application form.
yeah, you have to tick all the boxes first, okay?
Oh, 100%. Oh my gosh. So
I was going
yeah.
to ask a question. Did you plan the life you have now, or did it unfold in ways you didn't expect? But I think it's pretty clear that it's unfolded in ways that you didn't expect.
Yeah, most definitely it has.
And yeah, it's what you were saying about like the adrenaline filled kind of thing. I've
Yeah.
been dealing with getting over like hurry, the mindset shift of like I don't need to hurry to the next thing. Like especially because we're kind of set up now, like we work from home, but we have like three businesses now that are really chilled. Like they kind of semi-run themselves, and we've had a lot of help from Lloyd to do that. And yeah, but just mentally getting over like the rush of the next thing and the next thing, and you can't do all of your life like that. Like how terrible life is that, rushing
A
from one
hundred-
thing to the next.
Yeah, it is. It's tiring. It's so
Yeah.
tiring. And it's hard because you're an entrepreneur at the same time, you know? It's like the entrepreneur is like the devil, the little devil that wants to keep moving forward. It's challenging. It's like, how can I do more by doing less?
Yeah,
I
that's
think
the
once we
question.
crack that, we got
Yeah.
to share
Yeah,
it.
that is the question that I think I ask myself every single day because
Yeah, I've been on
there's
a mission, that
yeah,
literal mission,
yeah,
for the
Yeah.
last few
because
years.
it's I want to do less. I do not want to go back to the place where I'm working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and just like carving out a space to go to sleep for an hour. Like, I
Oh
don't
my
want to
God.
go back there. So it's a case of how do you still grow, but
Yeah.
grow in a way that is good for you and good for your
Yeah.
soul, I think.
Yeah, and the great things about having those crazy moments in business and stuff, like you definitely push the threat. It's kind of like running, you think that you're at your limit, and then you push
Yeah.
through that wall, and with stress, like in business, you get to a point where you like think you're gonna break, and then you work out like new bits like gratitude, and like I can read about gratitude, but until you've been so stressed to the point where you're gonna just explode. And then you start being like, oh, but look at these people in my life. They're so good. And you start focusing on different things. I
That's
wouldn't
so,
have had that experience unless I went through that stress.
I agree. I
On
so
that
agree.
on that note, I am going to ask you a question about if you woke up tomorrow at 11 years old and everything had been a dream, would you have done and would you do anything differently?
Oh my God, that one's so deep too. God, you guys ask good questions. No, no, I don't think so. I
Yeah.
really don't. Like, honestly, even as I'm like sharing my story on here, I'm like, what a fucking life. Like, holy shit. Like, it's just
You've only just
crazy.
begun. You're 33.
I know, and I feel like I'm like lived ten lives, but no, I don't think so. I honestly, I don't think so. If anything, like I wish that I was just kinder to myself, you know. But don't we all? I can
Yeah.
be kind to myself now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you love about how you spend your days now, and what still
Yeah.
needs work?
Yeah. Well, now I have no sales calls on my calendar. I used to take like 25 a week. So I have no sales calls. I haven't taken a sales call in 8 months, and I have no desire to handle anyone's objections anytime soon. I spend most of my days creating, which I'm really, really good creator and builder. So I feel like I get to be in my zone of genius, and maybe that was my zone of genius to begin with,
Yeah.
was just creating. So I love that I have a very spacious calendar now. And again, coming back to like I get to rest. And I honestly think my body has needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. Um,
Yeah.
so with your business now,
Yes.
yeah. So this is all, tell me a little bit about what it is that you do now and what it involves.
Yes. Digital marketing. So it's basically, in a nutshell, it is selling digital products, whether that's ebooks, mini templates and things like that, resources and whatnot, evergreen, done do-it-yourself courses,
Mhm.
and basically selling those. That's it. No one-on-one coaching, no needing a massive team or anything for it. I literally create micro courses and I sell those. So yeah, just no one-on-one services. It's super low ticket, so it's very different to selling what I was selling before, like 15 to 50K packages.
Yeah.
So it's more of a volume game. But yeah, it's just a completely different way of doing business. You just sell. It's kind of like doing, it's not even like doing drop shipping or anything or retail or something like that. Like I don't stock inventory. I just have Teachable that costs me like $59 a month, and I just create courses and sell them.
That's cool. I
Yeah,
like that idea.
I,
Yeah.
we always work on a model now
Yeah.
that has like the least amount of overheads and obviously
Yes.
to maximize
Yes.
the profits.
Yeah, we've been burnt by the overheads.
Yeah.
100% having
Yes.
Or the
shop.
pressure of the overheads is like the
The
thing.
pressure, yeah. I know.
Well,
I know.
that's cool. So
Yeah.
what with those, so you're selling a product, so it's kind of like selling like we sell clothing, but you're selling a product that you don't even have to purchase the product in. You're creating the product in the first place.
It's like, have you ever bought like an online course or something that you wanted to learn, an education course?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you self teach. That's it. So I just like, for example, I'm going to launch some ads tonight. I created a content AI, and then I created a build your own digital product AI, and then I've got what else? DM scripts, sales page templates. Like I just create like things that business owners would use that's useful, and resources that they would buy for something really low ticket.
That's awesome.
And it just saves them time because they can like kind of copy paste
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Yeah, and it's just something micro, like some of my, I'm filming one now. I was just filming before. It's got like 10 lessons, and they're only like 5 to 10 minutes long. And it's like it's super low ticket, but yeah, it's more of a low ticket, big volume. And I think that that's the hardest part. And that's what I'm trying to learn, because like it's very easy to sell like a coaching package or something. But I think going from high ticket to low ticket has definitely had its challenges. That's for sure. It's
And then
just,
you leverage Facebook ads to get the
yeah.
leads.
Yeah, so I Facebook and organic, and yeah, and just promoting it. Yeah. And then the Wealth Creator Circle is like my main offer at the moment. So basically I created a community because I still love leading people. Like it's not that I want to disappear from the whole coaching space, because I think that it would be sad for them to lose me. But it's the Wealth Creator Circle is basically a anyone can start. So I put all of my 15, so far there's 15 courses in there. 15 courses in there, and it has a community. The community basically runs itself, and basically I teach so many different things, and my goal is to have different experts from other industries, like housing, trading, crypto, like different ways to earn passive income and different ways to set up your money. And it's basically like all these courses in there. It's a one-time payment. like, and then you just come into the community and you have multiple different ways that you can build passive income online that doesn't require big overheads, that doesn't require all these things.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, and it's just teaching people, yeah, money and wealth and different types of business models.
What's the key to increasing followers on Instagram?
Ah. Run ads, number one. Ads is definitely power. And I think getting very clear on who you're talking to, like it's messaging, like definitely messaging and making sure that you have like a niche messaging and you're talking about the same thing over and 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 over again.
If you had an Instagram account that had never happened, so you've
Yes.
got a zero
Yeah.
zero
Yeah.
followers and you
I'm
want
doing
to
that now.
say, yeah, me too. I'm actually
Yeah.
there. I'm in that exact space.
Good.
And so you've got this account and you want to
Yeah.
create something. How do you do that?
What
How
are
do
you
you get
selling?
from zero to 10, your first 10,000 followers?
Okay, well, I'll use you as the product. What are you selling?
That's it.
Myself, I just want to be, I want to have a key person of influence brand. So I've had my own businesses. I
Yeah.
want to be able to speak about that, eventually coach, I think, with
Yeah.
business. I'm
Yeah.
and knowing what I want to coach doing, like, sales, business, success. There's a few different things that are on the table.
Yeah.
So I just want to be have a following so that when I
Personal
do launch
brand.
something,
Yeah. A personal
I
brand.
have got something. Yeah.
100%. And that's such a good question because like my Instagram, I've I've done so many things on my Instagram and people just come along. Just come along with me. But I think for you, because it's a brand new account, if it's a brand new account, Instagram has changed so much. Like you can still build a personal brand, but you do need to find one key thing and theme that you talk about constantly. Otherwise, like the algorithm doesn't really know how to categorize your content. So Instagram kind of just released very similar to TikTok. TikTok launched, I think last year, categorization of content. So under specific topics, and you can actually search specific topics, and it's all under SEO search and whatnot. So
Kind of like Google, how
now,
Google works.
yeah, yeah. So now, like, if you go to like even some of my reels, if I go to the comments, it'll say what that reel is categorized under. So, and that means like if your messaging is all over the place, then like Instagram just won't know, well, who am I pushing your content out to? So, a few different things is like a theme. So, if it's like, I'm just gonna, because we've been on topic about this, like um burnt out business owners. Like you have your story that you can share about all of that. So you have the story, personal brand element that builds trust, the know, like, and trust factor, and it shares like your authority and everything you've been through. Plus, it's also themed with the educational piece and categorization piece of Instagram, because if you plan to sell something in the future, like you have to be categorized in some niche or industry. So then, you could talk about that in a million different ways, or you could really niche down even further and talk about, how to avoid bad accountants
Yeah.
and avoid burnout. There we go. And talk about most business owners don't know these 5 things about their tax returns. Like you know
Yeah.
what like, you just talk about the same thing, but then your story's related to that. Does it make
Yeah.
sense?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I would
Yeah.
do that.
And are we
Yeah.
doing hashtags or no hashtags?
It doesn't. Okay, so hashtags, if anything, 5, and it needs to be keywords that are relatable to the caption and the message in it. Like now it's just so wild with all this AI. Like AI will pick up on the text on your screen. If you've got a reel or something or a carousel, it'll pick up on the words in the caption and then in the hashtag. So like if I was talking about content, then my hashtags would be Instagram growth, content marketing. If I'm talking about sales, then my hashtags will be very specific to sales, so it categorizes that particular post.
Because I've been going like no hashtags. So I've been going
Yeah.
no hashtags because so that the people that are actually interested, like I'm not forcing it
Yes.
to a certain place. So the people
Yeah.
that are actually interested, then it's starting to build up an idea of what my audience is organically.
Yes. Yes. Okay. it could work. Like I don't know how effective hashtags are. Like it all I know is that it helps with categorization. Like I don't use them all the time. I honestly I think from what I've been studying and I've had to Instagram has just changed so much constantly. It's so hard to keep up.
Yeah.
But um I think if I could give you anything, it's find what works really, really well for your account because what works on other people's account may not work for yours. And I've even noticed recently that my short reels that used to do really well last year don't work anymore. Like they just don't. Like they don't perform, but then all my carousels perform so well. So like now I'm like, okay, well, if I was to look at this strategically, if it's not working, why do I keep doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think, and every big creator that is viral has hundreds of thousands of followers. Like they always say, like, if it's not working, don't repeat it. Like,
Yeah.
even though you like it and it's what other creators are saying, you have to have this, you have to have this, like, it just may not work for your account, and that's fine. That may not be how your audience engages with you. That may not be how your algorithm is being favored. And no one understands how the algorithm actually works. But if for me, I'm like, okay, well, carousels work really, really well from based on data and based on what I see. So I may as well, even though they look ugly as shit with the text on it, I'm like, well, unfortunately, it works. So I need to double down on that. So I think,
One,
and people say that about hashtags too. If your views tank when you use hashtags,
yeah.
then maybe don't use them. Test not using them.
Yeah.
One thing I encourage my clients to do because of you, Jess, is to speak to the camera like you're speaking to a deaf person because you got to imagine that
Yeah.
they might not have the sound on, so you got to put your
Yes.
hands near your face, do all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So they're like, oh, what are
The
they
pattern
talking
They
about?
turn the sound
And then
on.
they put the sound on.
100%. The pattern interrupts.
I
Those are
actually, I
too.
never
And
watch
switch
reels with
angles
the
every
sound
like
on.
10 seconds.
I know, I know. It's hard to keep up, honestly. I get exhausted from content creation sometimes.
Right, I
My
am really
God.
conscious of the time, so I think we are going to
Amazing.
have to leave it there, which I am, very sad about because I feel like we've just scratched the surface and so
Yeah,
much
we'll
more
have to
to
do
get
a
out of
round
you.
two.
We will have to do a
Oh
round
my
two.
gosh, we can. We could do it on strategy.
So
Yeah.
whereabouts can people find you if they want to get hold of you?
Amazing. Super simple. It is just Jessica, full stop, Viera, Vieraa __ on Instagram. That's it.
Awesome. Okay. And final question.
The final question is, Jess Viera, are you successful?
Yes.
I
Well, that was
love it.
simple.
Awesome.
Some people are like, oh, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
You're right in there, you know
Yeah.
it.
absolutely.
Well, thank you
Always.
so much. It's been an absolute
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thank you for coming on our podcast, and we will
Thank you
speak to you
so much.
again.
Thanks, guys.